Okay, next day, August 16th, 2022. This is a quick update on potatoes. Okay, we know I have issues with Julian's sister, Tamika, who continues to stalk me. Okay? And I think she's trying to recruit some of her new and improved friends in terms of, she can only keep her friends for so long, people, for the most part, and then they slide off to the wayside, like Kayla LeBlanc. Kayla Blaz. What happened to Kayla? I'm sure if Kayla was still around, we'd hear about it. Kayla is the one that put the dog ashes into those little charms that Julian's sister, right, gave to her lover, Cheeseburger, and his friend, and then told them it was Julian's ashes, but really it was dog ashes in there. And it was Kayla and Tamika who were sneaking around in Cheeseburger's bedroom who did that. And then Tamika let those fellas carry those charms around their neck for 2 years or whatever it is, with them thinking it was Julian's ashes when in fact they were dog ashes. So what happened to Kayla? I'd like to hear Kayla's side of the story on that one. I would. Ask her, why did you do that? How did you even get manipulated into that situation to do such a thing? And then giggle and laugh about it and think it was funny. So what I'm saying is, whatever this girl's got going on with this new batch of people that she's associating with, because I think she uses her YouTube channel and the fact that she's a dancer, stripper, quote unquote, to draw attention to herself via YouTube channel, in part so that she can get attention and, snag in a few tricks along the way, right? Through that, what is that website called? Backstage or something, right? I don't know what it's called. I don't associate with it. But where girls put themselves up online for those private shows and shit like that. Right? That's what her YouTube channel is. Just a little advertisement to, hey, come hire me in the back room, through this website. As she stalks me, thinking that when people join onto her website, because she's a stripper, and they want to see her shake her booty, or whatever it is, for the most part, right? She thinks she's going to get sympathy from them because of what's going on with me and my family and ShaMay and Amari and whatnot, and that story. And maybe she gets 1 or 2 or 3 supporters. She had Kayla Blaz, right? And a few other girls there. Whether those girls are still around or not remains to be seen. But I can tell you this right now, it's not these girls running around in my yard in the middle of the night plucking out potatoes. Back to the title, back to the subject of this video. So speaking of potatoes, I go out in the yard yesterday. Now, on the side, I've been getting Andre to I'm trying to get Andre a little more motivated in terms of, you have to grow up and there's responsibilities and, life is not all play. There's a time to sleep, there's a time to eat, there's a time, for rest, there's a time for play, there's time for work, and, blah, 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 right? So, I've been getting him to water the plants. I've been getting him to water the plants, right? You know, and as he's been watering, he came to me, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, something like that, right? Maybe 6. Anyway, he came to me less than a week ago or so, right? And he said, Nana, somebody dug out, that's what he said, dug out 2 potatoes. He was specific about it. 2 potatoes on this patch of potatoes that I just planted as an experiment. Okay? That was the last, right? Planted them late. Some of them were this, some of them were that. You know, so it's not like I need them, okay? Per se, right? Anyway, somebody went in there and plucked out 2 of them and left little holes. Literally. Right? It's like they came and they grabbed the stalk and they pulled it straight up and ran off with it. Because when I tell you that somebody's stealing my potatoes, they're not only stealing my potatoes, people, they're stealing the whole stalk. Okay? Because they want me to notice it. That's the thing. Okay. Now, I've been living with raccoons forever, okay? And potatoes are not something that raccoons like to eat. They just don't. Maybe cooked, but not raw. Okay? And I've been growing potatoes on this property pretty much from ever since I've moved in. Okay? And I've never had problems with raccoons digging up potatoes and eating up all the potatoes. Never mind running off with the stalks. Okay? Running off with the stalks, the leaves, all of it. The whole thing, not just one stalk, but the whole stalk of the plant. Run off with it. You know, raccoons don't like beans. They don't eat cucumbers. They don't eat tomatoes. You know, maybe if they were real hungry, maybe they might try and eat a tomato. But for the most part, raccoons don't do stuff like that, okay? They'll dig and look for grubs before they'd eat a vegetable. Okay? So this isn't raccoons. Is what I'm trying to say. This is not raccoons, okay? And I said, okay, well, Andre, you know, just in case it's the raccoons, just put some sticks. So anyway, I'm just trying to get Andre into a routine of it's your chore to water the garden. That's, you know, like a kid, right? So he goes and he comes back 2 minutes later and I'm like, well, you didn't water it long enough. You know, and he cheats, right? And he tells me he watered it and I go out the next day and I test it and it wasn't watered. And if he watered, he didn't water long enough. So, you know, I'm trying to get him involved. So, but as I'm getting him involved, it's being sabotaged by this girl creeping my yard, people. Let me tell you something. It's not the Punjabis, okay? They don't have time or inclination to be messing around with potato plants, pouring bleach or anything into the ground to contaminate it just so they can be troublemakers, okay? They're too busy growing food themselves, okay? Because seriously, after all this little shenanigans that's going on, all it does is make me want to go to the farms soon. Serious. All I have to do, people, is have Tisha drive me out to the farms and spend $200-300 on good farm food that was grown by Punjabis, come home and dehydrate it. And we would be back in those videos. And you know what? Considering what's going on in my yard, I just might do that. Okay? I'll go off. It's nothing for me to go off and buy 100-200 pounds of potatoes. Easy peasy. It's nothing for me to dehydrate them. I've done it before, more than once. Easy peasy. But this shit that's going on in my yard with this dimwit, it's not a homeless person, people. Okay? Homeless people don't have time for this kind of shit either. They're too busy just trying to survive with what they've got going on in their own freaking life. And if they really want potatoes, All they have to do is go to Pastor Granny's house, go ask Pastor Granny's daughter for some food, and she'll give it to them. Because she already drops the shit off where they have a shelter. Pastor Granny's daughter is still doing that, people. So all the homeless people, they know this. And they know if they really, really need it, as if they have any place to cook it, right? All they have to do is go ask. And she'd give it to them, if she's not already offering them with it. So it's not a homeless person. It's not my neighbors, people. Okay? They got their own little patch of land, and they're happy with it. And you know what? I'm happy with it too. Because at least these people next door, the Syrians, at least they're trying to do something with the land in terms of planting food. Whereas before, I'd have to cross over the fence. We've got those videos. And I'm in there digging up the weeds, trying to control the overgrowth of whatever, making an attempt to plant something in there to replace the weeds, not because I needed the food, but just because I didn't want it to get so overgrown that it would have been really, really difficult to plant something if and when you ever really wanted to do it. So I just kind of maintained it until somebody else moved in and took over. And this is why I'm happy, because I don't have that burden anymore. But they're not going to come over to my side of the fence in the middle of the night and start sabotaging my plants. Whether it's potatoes, trees, the grass, whatever it is. Okay? They're just not going to do that. The raspberries didn't produce hardly any food this year, people. Hardly any fucking fruit. Half of my raspberry plants, when they were coming up, were dead. Okay? I just didn't say anything about it. Because they do die off. One here, one there, the stalks, right? But there was way too many that were dead when they started to grow. So, you know, considering that this girl had gone through my yard with her freaking bottle of bleach and God knows what else she's pouring into my yard, okay? You know, I wouldn't be surprised she didn't do something through there as well. Because we got hardly any raspberries this year. Okay? The blueberries, well, I don't know. There's something going on with the weather. So, you know, it's a hit and miss whether that bitch killed, you know, trying to kill off my blueberry plants too. You know, because, you know, Andre's picking blueberries every year. That's his chore. He loves to do that. He does a really good job on it. This year, I'm saying, Andre, go pick blueberries. He's coming back in telling me they're sour. They're looking blue, but they're not. They're sour. Now, does that have something to do with the weather? Or does that have something to do with this bitch running around pouring shit into my yard? I don't know, people. All I know is it's not the Punjabis doing it. Because if I want, I can go to the farms and buy $150 to $200 worth of blueberries. Beautiful, fresh, plump, delicious blueberries. I can can them. I already did that, people. It's downstairs, okay? I can freeze them. I still got some in the freezer, people. Okay? What goes on in the front is for Andre so that he can learn to be in touch with nature and to have a hands-on approach on learning how to feed himself. But this girl running around, snatching up potato plants and doing this and doing that, you don't think this is not affecting my grandson after all these years? You know, just like when we were forced through the court to take Amari to that place so that he could have his parent time visit. Well, that bitch is standing there giving me the baby, practically making it so that I drop him as the hat drops and then wanting to punch me out. And Andre's witnessing this shit. How old was that? How many years ago was that? Three years ago, right? You don't think that this 3 years of ongoing fucking gang stalking against my family, including my grandchildren, children, right, isn't affecting his mind? When he goes outside, sees that he's watering the plants, trying to, you know, oh gee, you know, I'm watering. After a while, right, you know, he gets a sense of accomplishment. And then what? And then what? Well, your next video you're going to see is me outside with Andre, standing in front of the freaking potato patch that a week ago was flush of greenery, because those potatoes were one of the first ones that got planted into the ground. right? And weren't quite ready to harvest yet because they were still green. Well, there's nothing there anymore. 3/4 of the potatoes were taken out. A few were left behind because obviously it was done in the middle of the night. So they had to go around feeling for it, as they used some fucking silver butter knife to do it. And this is not the first time I found a silver butter knife in my freaking yard either, people. Okay? I don't go outside with silver butter knives digging around in the dirt, leaving the knife behind. Okay? That's somebody else. It's not a Punjabi. It's not a homeless person. It's not the Syrians next door. It's not that dude with his freaking tenants over there. Okay? This is somebody that specifically comes into my yard with a badass attitude that obviously think they can get away with it. Right? But you see, all it does is make me want to go to the farms and spend money. Seriously. And with things the way they are going on in the economy, maybe I'm not done yet with my food prepping. Because I can tell you something. If you dehydrate blueberries, listen, check this one out. If you dehydrate blueberries, hold on a minute. Okay. So if you dehydrate blueberries, all right, when they're to the point where they're really, really, really dry, and then you put them in a jar and you seal it up, people, or like a nice secure container, I'm telling you, they will last for years. And they are so, so good. Okay? So with that said, considering everything that's been going on in this yard, for whatever reason, okay, I think I'm just going to cut to the chase. And by the end of the month, I'm going to go off and buy another $100 or $200 or whatever it is worth of blueberries, okay? And I'm going to dehydrate them. I'll put them into long-term food storage, okay? And I'll top off what I have in the freezer, right? I'll just top off, okay? I'm not going to can any because I already have them canned from, what, a year, 2 years, I think 2 years ago. I didn't do very much canning last year as I did food prep with the wheats and the beans and the quinto and the oatmeal and the buckwheat and the corn and all that other stuff. That's what last year was about. The year before, maybe, okay, so either or. And at the same time, if I want to, I can go off and get myself 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 400 pounds of potatoes if I wanted to, and I can dehydrate them too. I don't think I dehydrate 400 pounds because I really don't need it. But I might end up getting another 50 pounds to 100 pounds worth of potatoes and go out of my way just to do it. In light of whatever's going on in my yard, I don't want to eat it, people. Okay? In the morning, Andre's going to do a little video, talk about how he's been watering the plants, watering the potatoes, because I'm like, water the potatoes, Andre. Water the potatoes, Andre. Life is getting tough. You know, you got to learn how to look after yourself a little bit. And, you know, this is right. Just, right? Give him some foundation here, you know. So he's watering the potatoes. And now he's going to find out that there is hardly any potatoes left because somebody, and he knows who it is, people. You see, that's the thing. He knows, because this girl has been stalking my house ever since ShaMay's been dead. Okay? She was stalking my house when ShaMay was alive. She was stalking ShaMay before ShaMay even knew it. And I'm biting my nail. Because my nails, you really need a nail file. Otherwise you keep biting them. Because they're snagging. Anyway, so, you know, he can tell how he's watering, and then he comes out and he finds that, you know, not only is there a big gaping hole in the ground, but it's like the whole freaking plant is gone. How do you think he feels after all this time? And this bitch has been doing this for like over like 5 years. 5 years straight. Off and on. Year after year. Getting more and more dangerous about it in terms of pouring shit and, you know, that kind of crap. Because, sure, you dug up the potatoes, right? You stole them What you gonna do? Eat them, or did you chuck them, or did you just chuck them into other people's yards, right? Laughing as you did it. Okay, and then after you dug them up, what did you put in the dirt? Because I don't think you just dug them up and ran off with the potato and stalk and all. I think you left something behind besides one of your knives. Because she, remember, she likes to carry knives, right? She admits it on her YouTube channel with one of her videos. I like to carry knives. This is not my knife, people. And this is not the first time I found a silver knife, something similar to this, in my yard. Okay? Okay? It's like her little calling card. You know how they you know, when they do graffiti, right? When they do graffiti, this is like graffiti. Okay? See it as graffiti. All right? Is that the knife this individual used to dig up the potatoes so they didn't have to stick their hands in there? They just moved things around and felt and grabbed the potato and ran off with it? You don't think that there's a high probability that they didn't pour something in there to contaminate the whole fucking dirt? Okay? If they're gonna go as far as creeping my yard in the middle of the night, stealing freaking potatoes, stalk and all, right? Continue to do other things, right? And they've already admitted to pouring bleach into my plants, into my dirt, and thinks it's funny. You think they're going to stop? No, they're not stopping. And that's why I'm doing this video. But the thing is, you may think you're starving Amari by accusing me of doing it because I can't grow potatoes. Right? I can't grow potatoes, people, because as soon as I get them in the ground and they start growing, we know what's going to happen. Okay? We'll just watch and see how they disappear. And it's not the raccoons. It's not the homeless people. It's not the Punjabis. It's not the Syrians or any other neighbor. Okay? There's only certain kind of individuals that would do such a thing. Okay. I'll just go to the farms. Yeah, I'll make plans to go to the farms. Right? I might go as far as getting a whole bunch of shit and dehydrating it just for the sake of it. As backup, right? To top off, right? To replenish and bring in some fresh stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Right? Because anything that's old, if I don't want it, it's going into compost tea. Okay? So there is no wastage. Alright? But the thing is, you can't grow anything on this property unless, of course, I move and maybe somebody else moves in. Then maybe they would be left alone. Right? Because this is being targeted to me. Which is targeting my kids and my grandkids. So, this individual is taking food away from my grandkids. Because I won't eat these potatoes, people. I won't. I'll put them off to the side and I'll use them as seed potatoes next year, assuming that they survive. Okay? Because if you're going to go as far as stealing 3/4 of the potatoes in a little piece of land in the middle of the night, leaving your paraphernalia behind, okay? Right? And you've already admitted to poisoning my dirt. What's to say that they didn't poison that patch of dirt? Okay? These potatoes that I've got right now could very well be contaminated for human consumption. So for all these people that are signing on to her YouTube channel, that wander over to my YouTube channel, they better listen to what I'm trying to say here, because they will, one of them, if not two of them or three of them, over a period of time, will be targeted by this individual who will sneak around their back and do things just like this girl's been doing to my family. To sabotage them, hurt them, kill them, destroy them, whatever it is that this girl's on a mission with when she's got her sights on stalking somebody, you know. So tomorrow, well, it's today because it's morning now, I'm going to let Andre express his feelings on what's happening in this yard because of this bitch. Yeah. Yeah. And just because she's flying around the country, so-called dancing, stripping, doesn't mean she's not coming back to Surrey and finding the time to do it. Okay? A week ago, these things were fine. Right? I was thinking to harvest them before this happened. Okay? Because I had a sneaky feeling it was going to happen, because this girl can't control herself. Okay? She may think she's depriving food from my family, but she's not. And that's why I'm saying I will just budget in $300-400. I'll go to the farms and have a blast. Right? I love the farms. Okay? That's one thing Punjabis are really good at, and that is growing food. It doesn't matter if it's potatoes or blueberries. Okay? And they love commerce. Okay? So if I come in with $400, they're going to be just as happy as me. Okay? Right? So I'm just saying, you didn't really damage anything outside of maybe your reputation, right? Because you're the one that has to go to work and face these people that you're trying to fool. Because sooner or later, 1 or 2 or 3 of them are going to wake up to the real kind of individual that you really are, because they're going to see your antics in the dancer's room, and they're going to get you blackballed from the fucking industry. That's what's going to happen to you. Okay? And from what I can understand, the industry is pretty freaking wild and rough right now. It's not like anything when I was back in the day with the girls. Okay? All right? In terms of the girls had respect. There was more boundaries than what the girls are expected to do today. The girls got paid for their time. They didn't have to pay other people to get paid. And even then, you're not even getting paid. What you get is a tip, from my understanding. And I think it's wrong. But a dirty dancer is a dirty dancer, and sooner or later, dirty dancers get blackballed. Okay? They get blackballed. And then what you gonna do? Go crying to your mommy? As if your mother wants you. Right? As if your mother wants you. So anyway, that's the quick update on the potato thief. Okay? I'm gonna show you. I'll show you. Just end it. I'll show you, walk you through it real fast, and then we'll have Andre come in today at some point talking about his feelings as to how this girl disrupts his emotional well-being. Okay? For as much as I sent him outside to water these potatoes, okay, to teach him something, what is this girl teaching him when he's going to go out tomorrow and see exactly what he got for his effort, which is basically nothing. Okay? So, be careful who you associate with. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video. Now, it was a Mod Podge of potatoes. You can see that they were coming in actually quite nice. Now, the only reason I got these ones like this, look at this, is because they were further to the back of the fence. And this person who came in and stole all the other potatoes, I guess couldn't really reach them. Because you had to kind of climb in there and dig around. And I managed, look how nice that is. This is what this person stole. Because this is what's left. Okay, this here was from one plant. Okay, this here is from whatever was left behind. Do you see? Nothing. I'm going to show you, hold on. And again, it's not the Punjabis. This is what the Punjabis give me. And believe it or not, it smells so good. Because this is vegetable scraps. Fresh. Fresh, people. Fresh. Look at this. Okay? It's not the Punjabis running around stealing my fucking potatoes. Okay? They're cooking. But this is what this is for. Oh boy, is it ever nice. This is really nice, okay? And I'm very grateful that they give it to me. Right? My landlords were admiring the grapevine. They're helping to feed the grapevine. So everybody's happy. Until the troll shows up and starts killing off the fucking grapevine too. This is it, right here. Remember? First it was right here. Remember how green and flush this was? Remember? Andre's been watering it. Nothing left. Nothing left. There. Look. There should be stalks like this. One stalk. That's it. That's it, people. One stalk. Out of all those stalks. Where did they go? Huh? With no potatoes. Just the little bit that I dug out. The only reason those other ones were big is because they were back there. Otherwise, all these ones in here, and this was full. This was full, people. They stole them. Freaking stole them. Yeah. I'm pulling out my plants. One stalk. They left one potato stalk. Oh, wait. Here's another one. Right here. Here's one. Right? Do you see? Obviously, I went in here and dug up what was left. But the more I think about it, I'm not eating it. Fuck no. I don't trust it. I don't trust it, people.